Trouble is, when I make my webcam bigger, you can see all the bloody dog hair. Greetings and salutations, my friends. Welcome to the Ramble. Today, I want to talk to you about future plans. And I'm going to be completely honest, as I always try to be, with you guys regarding money and business and stuff. So I want to talk a little bit about FM20, but just other stuff and my thoughts going into sort of getting close to 2020 now. So obviously for the sort of, for the last few years, I've been doing YouTube pretty much full time for the last couple. And doing a couple of videos a day, plus I suppose on average over the time it's probably like a once a week stream. I've had breaks, but then there's periods where I'll do 2 or 3 times a week of streaming. So let's just say once a week I've been streaming and 2 videos a day, right? So, and it's a lot of work and it keeps me busy and stuff like this. And what I really want to talk to you today is the sort of business side of it. Now, as you know, I run my channel, especially regarding sort of videos and stuff that I make, as not a business. So I will make the videos that I want to make. I will play the games that I want to play. So even if there's a game that I kind of know not that many people are going to watch, I will play that game. If there's a save that I want to do on FM, but I think it might be unpopular, but if I'm really into it, then that's good enough for me. I know a lot of you guys still will be into it because I'm enjoying it, sort of thing. So, but obviously it is a business, and very much, especially the first couple of years when doing YouTube, I was really into the analytics side. I was tracking my growth, trying to track views and subscribers and all this sort of stuff. And I think that's quite important, especially if you're really dedicated to making it a full-time job. But now I've got to that stage where it's a weird one with Football Manager, because YouTube as a whole, we see channels, we see PewDiePie with 100 million and stuff like that, and it's incredible and stuff. But with a Football Manager channel, primarily, there is obviously a very finite audience of how many people will actually watch Football Manager. So for instance, I've got almost 50,000 subscribers, and it's continuing to go up. Dr. Ben, I don't know how many Dr. Benji's got, 80 or 90 odd thousand worth of space, 90 odd thousand sort of stuff. So, and the amount of people watching Football Manager is slowly growing. But the thing is, the likes of Dr. Benji, Lelujo, Work the Space, all the sort of, the biggest sort of guys, including me, have pretty much hit the ceiling of Football Manager channels, right? Yes, subscriber-wise, I will still continue to grow, as will Dr. Benji, Work the Space, Lelujo and stuff. We will all continue to grow as new users come on. But the fact is, that subscriber count doesn't mean anything, because some people unsubscribe when they stop watching a channel. Most people just stop watching the channel. You'll end up, I'm sure most of us here, including myself, I think I'm subscribed to about 300 channels. I maybe watch 50 of those channels, but I can't be asked to go through and unsubscribe. So I know, for instance, that even though, let's say, I'm just plucking a number, in 2020, I gained 10,000 subscribers. In essence, I've probably lost, they've not unsubscribed, but they've stopped watching 8,000 maybe. So I'm year on year, we're only sort of growing a very actual active viewer base is very small, because at the end of the day, Football Manager, in terms of watching on YouTube, is a small game. There's obviously stuff you can do, and there's videos that go viral that every Football Manager's going to watch, like a 1,000 years into the future video that a ton of people might watch, or just a really fun experiment or something, and you can make the most out of the stuff you do. Like, for instance, when you're making a Football Manager series, you can add in skits and do other stuff around it to make it more entertaining and get more viewers, and there's all that sort of stuff you can do and everything. But at the end of the day, there's still a cap. And I'm in the very lucky position that I get to do this full time. But I'm only in that position because of Patreon. If there was no Patreon, I'm not even remotely close to making a full-time living off Football Manager. And that's obviously why I'm incredibly lucky that I do have people. But in a business sense of the thing, I can't rely on Patreon. I can't, because it might all go away tomorrow. Christmas is coming. You guys might get skin and decide, actually, I need to cancel that because I've got that. I can't rely on something that could literally disappear tomorrow. And it's the same with YouTube, with ad revenue. My average ad revenue across the year, I'm kind of plucking because I don't really sort of check that stuff, because at the end of the day, you try and make good content. That's all you can really do. Whether the rest doesn't falls into place if you make good content. So really, I'm making... Obviously, it's better at certain times of the year, Christmas, or when the new game comes out and stuff like that. Maybe 500 quid a month on ad revenue. I don't know the actual figure, but it's not that far off. Let's say 500 quid a month on ad revenue. So that clearly is not enough to pay the bills. My once-a-week Twitch stream is you know, you guys are incredibly generous. Considering I don't stream a massive amount, you guys have been amazing, and I've got, 300 odd subscribers on Twitch. Obviously, a subscriber on Twitch is actually a paid subscriber. If you don't watch Twitch, they pay $5 a month to get access to some emotes and stuff. But mainly, people do it because they're supportive and they want to help the person out. So all those things combined, but obviously Patreon is by far the biggest chunk. And so I've been sort of... This is going to be very rambly. It already is, but just, didn't plan the video. I just wanted to talk about something. So obviously, as part of any business, you need to obviously talk about and think about what's next. You can't just sort of chug along, because then you're not doing anything. Like I said, if I just continue as is, exactly as is for the next couple of years, my channel will continue to grow. My views on my videos will continue to grow, but very slightly. Maybe even just, and at some point will stall out. Like Dr. Benji makes amazing videos, but his views aren't just like this every year and going up every year with all these new subscribers. They're sort of flat, or maybe going up a little bit. And that's through no fault of his own, because he makes great content, but it's just the nature of the beast and the nature and the amount of people watching Football Manager. So what I've decided to do, and I think I'm not, this is not in stone at the moment, but I'm thinking of doing this, basically, Football Manager, YouTube. I love it. I love it. That's the part I'm luckiest about, is that I still absolutely love it. But what I'm thinking of doing is having a daily video. And there are many reasons for that, because at the moment, on average, I'm doing 2 videos a day. And that takes up a lot of day, because you've got to remember that it's the recording and the editing and the uploading and the thumbnails and all that sort of stuff. But you've also got to remember, if you're playing 2 saves, you might have to play 5 games in between. That might be a couple of hours. So it takes a lot of time. And what I'm thinking of doing is, and it also cannibalizes viewers. Most of you guys have busy lives. You've got stresses and jobs and kids and university and school and all various different things, and you only have a limited time to watch YouTube. So a lot of the people that like my channel might decide just to watch one of the series. They might have decided, I know there's lots of people that watch all my content. It's amazing. It boggles my mind every time, but it does cannibalize it, because some people are going to look at my channel and go, really like this guy, but I can't watch both his series. I'm just going to watch one. So it kind of, it's not like you do 2 videos a day and you get double the views of if you did 1 video a day. It's probably more like 50% extra. So here's my plan. 2020, I don't know when this will start, probably the full release of the game, kind of makes sense. 1 video a day, so we'll have 1 main series that is maybe, I don't know, six episodes a week. I haven't thought into the detail yet, but let's say 6 days a week we do the series, and then on the Sunday, it's a ramble. There'll be times, let's say if I want to do an experiment, where that can come out on a Saturday as well. We can still have 2 videos a day. It's not like set in stone. So that may be the look going forward. You'll have a main save that doesn't last 200 episodes. Because again, that's another thing that just, it's great. I enjoy it, and it's great for people that are into a save. Let's take Fort William, for example. It's fantastic for people that have enjoyed the save, that really long save. But after episode 50, it just won't gain any new viewers, because there'll be a few that find Fort William at episode 50 and go back and watch the thing. But when you get to episode 100 and stuff, people aren't going to go back and start from the beginning, or very few people. I know you guys do, but a lot of people are just going to look and go, oh, come on, that's a lot of hours of watching. So what I need to do is find that perfect balance of stuff that I want to do and enjoy, but making sure it's right for YouTube. Because as I talked about on previous ramble, I'm saving for a house and all that boring life stuff, which has been expedited recently by the fact that I split up with my missus. We're still on good terms and stuff, and we're kind of living as housemates, but it kind of just means I want to move on a bit quicker. So I've got to make sure I'm doing everything right on the business side of YouTube and not doing it purely selfishly. I just want to play what I want to play. That is still the biggest, most important part, that pillar of what I want to play. But there needs to be another concession of, hang on, is that good though? That just helps me decide what I want to do. So it could be a case that we do a journeyman save and it lasts for 80 episodes or something, and then we do a new save, or, shorter term saves. Obviously, that buys me time. So I'm just plucking here, but let's say the daily video for each one series takes half an hour to record, half an hour to edit, render, half an hour to upload, a couple of hours playing in between, 3.5 hours, 4 hours to do one episode. That frees me up. That gives me 3-4 hours of extra time. So what do I do with that time? Masturbate. No, what do I do with that time is the question. Dave, I saw you asking. And that is twofold. It gives me a little bit extra time to put more effort into the single series that we do on the YouTube channel. So I can do sort of more funny skits. I'm not so heavily rushed. I can take a little bit more time. If there's a period of games that I get that just aren't going to make a good YouTube video, but I kind of need to record, I can say, okay, that's fine. I can play a few more games in between because I've got a bit of extra time. But also, like I said, skits and other, silly stuff and everything like that. So that's good. That's the one point. But the main point, and something that I've been considering for a long time, is I want to give Twitch a right good go, as they say. I'm recording this on Friday early morning, and all this week I have been doing the sort of week of Twitch, and there was many reasons for that. Obviously the new game's come out and I'm hyped to play it and I want to chat to you guys about it, so that kind of made sense. But also I wanted to just do every day, just for a while, just to see how it felt. Could I still get my work done? Am I just getting to the stage where it's almost like a job where you go, oh God, I've got to do another stream tonight and stuff like that. And just as a little test run. And me and the people in chat, I don't want to speak for you guys, but I feel like we've had an absolute blast, an absolute great time. And I've really, really enjoyed it, especially in my current headspace with a lot of real life shit going on. It's been brilliant just to hang out with you guys for a couple of hours each night and shoot the shit and play some games and stuff like that. So I'm not saying I'm not streaming every day, because I think that going from sort of the odd stream to every single day, I think is a bit crazy. But it would allow me to, like I said, spend a bit more time on the single series on YouTube. It would then allow me to stream maybe looking at 4 days a week for a couple of hours at a time. I'm still not the sort of person that is going to do long streams. I'm amazed that people do these sort of 8-hour streams, even 12 hours and stuff. But like a lot of these like professional streamers will do 8 hours a day, say, for instance. And it's partly due to our style's bit different. I like to be high energy craziness, just mucking about constantly, where you see a lot of the regular streamers, there's a lot of pausing, there's a lot of silence, and as they're playing the game and all that sort of stuff. And so I feel like I try to put on a show and have a right giggle with me mates and be high energy. So to do that for 8 hours would, I'd just die at the end of it. So what I'm thinking of going for is something along that, like I said, I haven't got the fine details and stuff. Going 4 days a week, 3-5 days a week on Twitch, at a regular time with a proper schedule, because that's what always been a problem I've had on Twitch, is not having a proper schedule. That's never a good thing. It is much easier for people to see and know when they're streaming on Twitch rather than waiting for a random tweet saying I'm live out of nowhere. I've always known that, but that's, when you're streaming once a week, it's not as much of an issue. So having a proper schedule, a proper live stream schedule. The other thing is, sorry, I'm moving about too much. It's confusing my camera. The other thing is what we play on the live streams. And at the moment, the way I'm thinking it in my head is that it won't be Football Manager. Because I was thinking, and let me know, all of this, please give me constructive criticism, any ideas you've got, what you think might be best, etc., etc. Because at the end of the day, this is my job, this is my business, as well as having fun. I'm lucky that I get to do a job that I have fun in. I want to make some money, and I want to be able to not live with my ex-girlfriend and her ex-husband, essentially. I'm sure you can understand. But no, just generally, I'm not a person that cares or wants to be rich. I just want to have my own thing. I've never owned my own house or flat, and it's my life goal to have a house and then some dogs and look after some oldies and stuff like that. So what I was thinking is, at first I thought, well, okay, maybe we just do Football Manager one of the days a week. Let's say, for instance, we decide on 4 days a week, 8 till 10. On the Monday, we do Football Manager. The problem with Football Manager is it's such an ongoing, almost story-based game that I feel like a week... Let me know your thoughts on this, if this is just me, that a once a week would just feel too bitty, because you'd spend half the stream catching up on trying to remember what happened a week ago on the stream. It's like as if I was watching an FM YouTube series and it was once a week. I just don't think I would hold on to it. I think I'd watch it and it'd be cool. I might watch the first few episodes that have already been uploaded by somebody, but then now that I'm waiting a whole week for each episode, I just don't think I'd bother. I think consistency and regularity with Football Manager is very important. So at the moment, and like I said, none of this is set in stone, I was thinking of not doing Football Manager at all and just experimenting, using the Twitch stream to, we'll have the occasional poker night and other stuff that I've done before. And, maybe we play some big releases that have just come out. Maybe we play some old school League of Legends or some retro games or some party games or silly fun games. But all we need to do, and I say we because it's us as a community, is pick a schedule that we're happy with. Let's say 4 days a week, we do 8 till 10, and once we've got that schedule, we're free to do anything. We can try stuff. We can play a bit of Motorsport Manager or Mech Warrior or, old stuff and new stuff. And because I want you guys to be involved. I want you guys, and I hope you feel this way anyway, to be involved. I know this sounds weird. I was going to say be involved with the success of the channel but then you don't get any money for it. So it's a bit selfish of me to, I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. I want you guys to feel like you're part of this. I've always tried my hardest to make it feel like a community. And from the comments I get daily and the lack of abuse, I think we do a good job of that. And I want it to be us growing together and doing stuff together and stuff. And it could be the case of maybe eventually we have some sort of stream team. And I'm not saying stream team as in, like, I don't know what I even mean by stream. No, what I mean is maybe some of the members of our little community, the Loki Ultra community, who are also streamers and stuff like that, we help each other out. Not so much in a way of a branding like We Stream FM or Centre Mid Gaming or the various other sort of groups of streamers, but me as a figurehead, boss person, if and this is just me spitballing, like I said, let me know what you think and stuff like that. If we have other people that do YouTube and Twitch in our little community, that we help each other out. So I will regularly raid, maybe the 10 streamers that are part of it. Maybe I have a website, a Loki Doki website, and as well as all my stuff on there, I feature some of the other creators. And maybe even going forward, a big part of next year will be to create a proper shop with decent and fun merchandise and some silly shit that then those channels that might be small, we can help them out by saying, okay, design some merch, stick it on our site. We can sell it still, so you can just link it to that part of the website where it's your section that you sell stuff and you get paid for it and everything, and just sort of help out, make a sort of this sort of community. And they can use my Discord and have their own section of the Discord and stuff, because it'll be such a big bump for a smaller or newer streamer or YouTuber and stuff. But so any of that sort of stuff I think would be really, really good. And like I said, with Twitch, just trying out some fun games. See what works for us as a community. I've always been, with regards to streaming, interested in games that aren't 100% focused. Like, for me, streaming a game like Call of Duty would make zero sense whatsoever, because it's a game I would have to really focus on. I'd still be shit at. And therefore, we've lost all the chat between us and the engagement and us having a laugh together, and we just end up with me concentrating on crap gameplay. So whereas Shroud, for instance, can play Call of Duty, and if you actually take away the gameplay and just listen to Ninja, to Shroud, all the big, a lot of the big streamers, they're not very entertaining, but they are amazing at the game. So generally speaking, Twitch has two ways of making it. Be entertaining or be good. Okay? Clearly not good. Somewhat entertaining. So that's our bracket. So what we need, the ideal sort of breadth of games that we play are things that don't take 100% focus. Football Manager. You can hit play and be watching the telly. Turn-based games, things like XCOM and stuff like that. Darkest Dungeon. All those sort of things where it's turn-based, and I've always preferred turn-based games, so it kind of fits perfectly and stuff. That sort of thing that I can still fully interact with chat, because that will be massively important going forward. So if you have any game ideas of old games, new games that are still to come out that you think might fit the brand, let me know in the comments. Let me know what you think of the whole idea of me sort of spitballing. Obviously, the immediate start of this will mean I will make less money from ad revenue on YouTube, obviously, with one of the series going, and maybe less from Patreon because less people are noticing or finding my series because I've only got one, that sort of thing. But it should be made up for because I'm regularly streaming more often, more subs and stuff like that. So I'm not really bothered if it doesn't. I'm not trying to be the next Ninja. I'm not dyeing my hair. I haven't got enough hair. I'm not trying to be the next Ninja. I don't want £1 million. I don't care about that shit. I just want to have a little bit more security, because as it stands now, with Football Manager, the size it is, I'm scarily, in a business sense, scarily reliant. I'm scarily reliant on Patreon, because my Patreon is just I don't I don't understand it. I honestly don't understand Patreon. It's, for the size of my channel, it's off the scale. It's off the scale. I don't get it. I'm not complaining. But also what I can't do is I can't, and also on Patreon, although it's amazing, it's something like $1,900 a month at the, last month, just gone. But I also know that in that Patreon, there's tons of patrons, but there's also maybe, let's say, a group of 10 or so patrons that are donating like $50 and up. And they're not going to be there forever. And and by the way, if you are one of those people and you are watching, do not be sort of guilted into not ever ending it because of what I'm saying. I'm just trying to be open with you guys. Is that when you've got one guy that gives you $200 and then 1 month that stopped, that's a chunk of money. That's a chunk of money. So what I need to do is make sure that everything is in place, that if an YouTube ad apocalypse happens, we're okay, because we don't have all our eggs in one basket. If all the ads had to disappear off YouTube for some reason because somebody was putting porn on a Nazi baby, then that's okay. We could survive that. We'd lose that 600 quid a month, but that's okay because we're Twitch streaming, and that's okay, and that's a little bit more secure. Obviously, Twitch subs go up and down and donations go up and down, but generally speaking, there'll be a sort of a point of which you're at least going to get that sort of thing. But with YouTube, so we can survive the YouTube, what we can't survive is if Patreon stopped, or if people stopped on Patreon. Don't get me wrong, because I'm massively aware that what I'm saying is guilting current patrons to not cancel, and that is by far the opposite of what I want you to do. If you want to cancel, please cancel. That would I would feel horrible. I would delete my Patreon if I felt like that was the case. But what we need to do is make sure that we're not forever reliant on the incredible generosity of you guys in Patreon. What we need to do is, as a community, our little group, we need to grow. And we need to, because then we're not reliant on any smaller part. We're less reliant on that one guy that is on Patreon for $100 or regularly donates and stuff like that. Because you can't expect people to be so incredibly generous for so incredibly long. So we need to make sure that all our eggs aren't in one basket. We plan, we grow on Twitch, so that we're covered. If any one thing goes wrong, the other things should be able to cover it. So I feel like if we did 6 months on Twitch, that if Patreon just decided to delete itself tomorrow, that although we'd have a massive hit, we could still just about survive. Because right now I'm in the lucky position that I'm living with my ex-girlfriend and her ex-husband in their house, which they're paying a mortgage on, and I am paying my way. Obviously, I'm paying a third of that, but we live in Northern Ireland. It's relatively cheap, and if there was a case where Patreon and YouTube cancelled, or the internet died so I couldn't make any videos, that I'm secure. They're not going to chuck me out. I've got some savings. It would be okay. But at some point, hopefully, if I work my nuts off, in a year's time, I can be in a position to buy a house. Not only will I then have a mortgage and a must-earn minimum amount, which obviously I'll keep as low as humanly possible. I'm going to buy a little house, right? I don't even care if it needs some work done, even though I'm terrible at DIY. I want to keep that as low as possible. There's going to be then the extra stress of having to earn X amount, let's just say £1,000. £1,000 a month minimum, or I'm homeless. It's exasperated by the fact that the plan before was to do that with Curly. Therefore, she would be making X amount of money, which would dramatically decrease the bills. But also, if something went horribly tits up, she could cover for me for a few months for me to get a job or whatever it is, or fix the problem. So now I'm doing it my own. There needs to not only be probably a certain amount in the bank account, even after buying the house or getting a mortgage as security, and this sort of minimum level of what we need to earn, otherwise I'm homeless. And I don't want to sound too dramatic, because again, don't donate on Patreon if you can't, just because you feel bad for me. Don't feel bad for me. I'm really lucky. But we just need to make sure that everything is as good as we can possibly make it. And I want it to be, I've always been completely open with you guys. That's why I talk about money and my Patreon's public and all that good stuff. But I wanted to just have a little ramble and I talk to you guys about my thoughts and plans for the future. FM as a job is just about sustainable if you can rely on the continuous generosity of your community. But as a business owner, as an entrepreneur myself, you shouldn't rely on generosity to be your business model. Unless you're a charity, maybe. That would make more sense. And I know, of course, if you stream on Twitch, the money you get from Twitch, ad revenue as well, but the main money you get from Twitch is subscribers and bits and donations and stuff, and that is generosity. But if you can at least spread it all out, so if this goes tits up, this is still okay, and this can cover for it or whatever. This might all change. I might get fed up with streaming after a month. Who knows? But we've got to try these things. Otherwise, you never know. And that's why I did this week on Twitch. Partly why I did this week on Twitch, because I wanted to see I've never streamed every day for a week, and I want to see how it was. Part of the reason, I'll finish in a minute. I'm sorry. You know me by now. It's a ramble. Also, part of the reason I didn't stream as much is because the best time to sort of stream is evening time. And to be quite frank, I was living with my girlfriend. I record in our lounge at my desk. And I felt bad if 3 or 4 nights a week I have to tell Curly to mute the telly and be quiet because I'm streaming again. And that's fine once a week, but that's not really great. Ideal boyfriend material if you're doing that often. But now, the joys of being single is I can do what the fuck I want. So now I can stream 4 days a week, and I'm still in the same room there. But Curly now she's got my old computer and desk downstairs and stuff, and she's sort of working from home a little bit and selling some stuff on eBay and trying to sort of start a business that way and everything. So I've got a little bit more time, a little bit more freedom to do that sort of stuff. So there you go. I've literally just spent, 33 minutes. I've really talked for... I'm so sorry. I feel so guilty. About my plans for future Loki content. Like I said, get involved. If you think it's a shit idea, please feel free to tell me. But explain why. Criticise it. Come up with ideas. Games to play. Possible solutions to certain things. All that good stuff. You guys are incredibly helpful. I'm an entrepreneur at heart. I do business consultancy. I know how business works. I don't big myself up massively too much, but I've got a good business brain. But the problem with it is I'm inside the bubble, sort of seeing out and speculating on certain things. But in essence, and sounds horrible, But in essence, this is what YouTube is for YouTube creators, is that you, people watching, are the customer to my business. And that sounds cold, but you know what I mean. I'm just describing it that way. So customer feedback is never a bad idea. So just let me know. Just let me know what your thoughts on the whole plan is, the Twitch thing, all that good stuff. Should we go to Mixer? I don't think we're going to get approached by Mixer anytime soon. Streaming on YouTube and stuff like that. Any ideas that you can spill that you think, discuss amongst yourselves, get involved, have a chat. That would be incredibly helpful. Right, I will stop now. Thank you very much for watching. I am a terrible person for making you spend 30 minutes listening to me waffle bollocks. I probably could have done this in 5 if I'd been succinct, but fuck it. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.